Thank you. Hope you had a good lunch. Not eating too much, otherwise you fall asleep. I will try to keep you up today. We live in an age of distraction. You surely know. We got screens everywhere. Telephone, e-reader, iPad. We are so incredibly distracted continuously. For just a small question. Can you leave your screen alone for, let's say, 45 minutes? Try it. I challenge you for that one. Because we live in this age of distraction, and if we really want to make a difference as a tester, you should be able to leave those distractions alone. And that is what I'm going to talk about. If you leave those distractions alone and you're going to use your mental capabilities till the utmost, you can make a difference. Because we are so much distracted. Is it already an email? Something on Instagram? Something happening on Facebook? You will not be paid by answering your email. You will be paid by doing a good job, by doing a good test job. And if you can do that, if you can use your mental capabilities to the utmost, you can make a difference. And that's just what I'm talking about. What I'm going to tell you is nothing new. It's already done in sports psychology, so I'm going to translate that, how we can use it as a tester. And if you do it right, maybe you will hit the flow. But I will tell you more about it. First of all, let me introduce myself. Anybody has any idea what kind of a sport I am? No? Yeah, that's true. It's the Tour de France. I do love cycling, but I'm not on a bike. Although I come from Holland, I do like cycling. It's not on a bike. I do something else. I'm a coach in a certain sport. Basketball? Nice try, almost. No, chess? No. Volleyball, yes, that's the winning answer. Thank you very much. Volleyball, I'm a volleyball coach. And last year, I just do it for fun, 2 or 3 evenings a week and on Saturdays. And but I had a sabbatical last season. Sounds great having a sabbatical, but I still want to improve myself, even as a sport coach, or just as a sport coach. Which meant I went to a course in sports psychology. And I thought that is quite interesting. What they taught me there was really hitting me incredibly. So that's what we're going to talk about. But also, I'm a tester. I have a big testing heart. That's my former company, Eclipse IT. It's now Alten IT. Alten is a major company all over the world. Suddenly, I have got 20,000 colleagues all over the world. So what I'm going to do is give you the mental capabilities and the mental abilities which you can use. And I'm going to have set a goal for myself today, is that you can reproduce those 4 mental capabilities and those 4 mental abilities at the end of my talk. So let's see if you can do that. First, talk about mental capabilities. And I use icons for a very good reason. And I'm going to ask you first, have you any idea what these icons stand for? And the one on the right, that's an easy one. It says arousal. You can read that. But do you have any idea what those other 3 icons stand for on the left? Target is focus, concentration. Very good. The heart. That's motivation. That's about. Your heart is about motivation. And the anchor. Slowness? No, it's about confidence. Having an anchor which you can hold to. And of course, on the right one is arousal. If you have those 4 capabilities in balance on a high level, then you should be able to hit the flow. And if you do it as a tester, then you will hit the test flow. So let's see if you can go there. We also want to use those mental capabilities in a certain situation we should be using as a tester. And what I choose for was session-based testing and exploratory testing. Everybody knows this sheet. Everybody seen it before? It comes from rapid software testing. And rapid software testing is coming from the context-driven school, which I like very much. And session-based testing gives you focus because it says it has a time box. I will come back on the charter afterwards. I will tell you more about it. But it's about a time box. If you have a time box for about 90 minutes, for example, you will have focus for 90 minutes. That's great, isn't it? Just have focus for 90 minutes to do some testing. Also, it's about exploratory testing, but I will tell you more about it. It's about a time box. It's also, a time box is also about a choice you have to make. I started my talk talking about distraction, which means that we are continuously looking at our screen. That means that our brains are continuously in the on mode. Because we want to see something, we want to see on our screens. That means you are continuously using your brain. For example, just another example, how many times, just for fun, you just look out of the window? And I don't mean window stare. Just stare out of the window. You do that sometimes, every day? You do that? Good. You should do more often. Mostly when we have time off, what we do is grab a screen and look at it. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, things like that. I do it myself too, I have to admit. I'm also, it's kind of an addiction. And it's proven, dopamine releases in your brain when you do that. You get a reward. So maybe you are a bit addicted, just as me. But a time box, it gives you focus because your brain is going in the on mode. Then you can do a debriefing. A debriefing in session-based testing is telling everybody, or telling someone, what you have done in the 90 minutes. And I will come back on the session. What you have done in 90 minutes, you do a debriefing, and then you can put your mind in the off mode. I've done some testing, I can take a rest, and maybe I could do another session and I will put my brains in the on mode again. Because it's proven that the distraction, the brain in the on mode, will even lower your IQ. Because like your brain is a kind of a muscle, and when you use a muscle too much, it gets cramped. And if you get cramped, you can't use it the way you should use it. So that's what about. I'm also talking about exploratory testing. Who does exploratory testing? Can I see some hands? Ah, great. Exploratory testing is also all about using your brains. You're doing test design and test execution at the same time. So you continuously think, what am I going to do next? What am I going to find? And if I want to give you a definition of exploratory testing, it's this. This is exploratory testing. Exploratory testing is walking around in a dark room looking for a cat, which is maybe dead. Who knows? That's exploratory testing. Of course, after exploring the room over and over again, you will get to know the room better and better and better. But that cat is still popping up somewhere. That's exploratory testing. Let's start with concentration. I'm going to explain you more about your mental capabilities. If your concentration is not on the right level, you won't find that cat in that room. You need to have focus. Mostly what sport people do is using rituals to get the right level of concentration, the right level of focus. You know this tennis player, who it is? Know him? Nadal, thank you very much. Last week I was in Dublin, they didn't recognize him, so that's why I'm asking. And he does a lot of rituals. Do you know the rituals of Nadal? No? Okay, luckily I've got a clip for you. That's what he does. Always put the bottles in the same place in front of him. Always make the same sprint before starting up the match. Clean up line, of course. Over and over again. Oh yeah, that's some nasty let's see heads. I have a small rebel also coming up. Small rebels coming up. He's not gonna do. That's the rebel. And he never steps on the line. Those are rituals. When they go over the top, they become superstition. So watch out. But maybe you should have some rituals for yourself. The second one was the anchor, about confidence. Did you ever have the feeling that you were not up to a certain challenge? That you had some doubts? I can assure you, everybody has doubts. I doing this talk for a few times, still have doubts, is it good enough? And that should trigger you continuously. And you also have to have the confidence that you can handle your doubts. You should have the confidence that you can work with your doubts. And if you do that, the confidence will be on the right level. And you can say one thing, this cat has confidence. Don't you think so? Let's go to motivation. It happens, you can see it, I can tell you more. It happens on the left side when you have motivated people. And when I'm talking about motivation, I'm talking about intrinsic motivation. Not external motivation, like motivation that it will give you a bonus or money or things like that, because it is proven already external motivation doesn't work. It doesn't give you the result you do. Because it's even, who has read the book Drive, Daniel Pink? You did? Great book. You think so? Never heard of it? Drive? Because I was looking for what drives people. And I think Daniel Pink really pointed out what intrinsic motivation is. It has something to do with 3 characteristics, intrinsic motivation. And also you can translate it for you as a text. The first one is autonomy. If you are autonomous, if you are responsible for your own results, it's good for your motivation. If somebody says what you should do continuously, you're going to wait as a dog for the next order to come. No, you should be autonomous. Be responsible. When you're doing a test session, then you are responsible for your own results. The second one is purpose. Second characteristic of drive, of intrinsic motivation, is purpose. You should have a purpose. Why are you doing it? Maybe you're going to contribute something to your company, or it wants to give you a good feeling, things like that. Everybody has to look for his own purpose, but it should be there. You should have a reason, not because somebody says you have to do it, but you understand why you should do it. Then you have a purpose. That's the second one. The third one is about mastery. And I hope that mastery will bring you here in this room, will brought you here in this room to learn something. And if you strive for mastery, also your motivation will go up. So you have autonomy, you got purpose, and you got mastery. And then you are intrinsic motivated. And if you are intrinsic motivated, you will start to get engaged. It's not only good for you, it's also good for your organization you're working in. Now let's go to arousal. What's your best time of the day? Night. Sorry? Night. You're using your subconsciousness, of course, to test. Yeah, right. No, my best time of the day is the morning when I come in. I'm really feeling the right focus, the right concentration. And mostly what a lot of people do, and I do the same, when I come in the office, sit behind the desk, and start answering emails. As I told you before, emails won't give you the money. Testing will give you the money. So why don't you close those emails, remove them from your screen, and start testing? Start doing a test session right away when you come in. You're fresh. You're really up to it. You're concentrated. You have the motivation. Start doing it. Start doing a test session at that time. My second best time of the day is the afternoon. About 4-ish, 5. My best. Why should I do a test session between 4 and 5 or start one? Then I have enough arousal, enough energy to do something. There's also a way. There are ways to get more arousal. And probably you heard of the haka. Okay, great. I'm going to show you anyway because it's one of the best hakas ever, and I like it very much. And it gives you a way to improve your arousal. So let's have a look. I like the guy on the front. It's really great. Look at it. Wouldn't it be great to do that in front of your computer? Then you have a lot of arousal, don't you? Maybe so your colleagues will be looking somewhat strangely to you. Standing in front of the computer doing that would be really great. The graph says it's kind of symmetric, but it isn't. It really differs per person. Some people don't need a lot of arousal to get on the right level. Some other people need a lot of arousal to get on the right level. And that's also the point, a bit of a discussion about doing it as a team. Also, I'm a volleyball coach, so I have a team. But I really don't want my team to do completely the same things. Everybody has his own way to get enough arousal to get into the right level of arousal. That's also important for you to know. But also, during a test session, you have enough mental freedom, so you also should be able to create your own level of arousal. If you don't have enough challenge anymore, maybe you should have some abilities to increase your arousal. But I will tell you more about it, because I'm making the switch to test abilities. I was talking about the mental capabilities, now I'm talking about the mental abilities. Those four things, I'm going to ask you in a moment what they stand for, can help to improve your mental capabilities. Do you have any idea what those four icons stand for? It's not taking a staircase, but growth, yes. Setting goals for yourself, step by step. The second is an I. Any idea what the I stands for? View, visualization, which you can use. The third one is a radio. Any idea what radio stands for? It's something in your head. It's self-talk. Like a voice in your head. There was a guy who was standing this morning, Noah, and said, I don't think that cues will help. I will give him some proof that they can help. And the fourth one is somebody sitting. It's about meditation, stress control. I will tell you more. And if you use those four, you can raise your mental capabilities. And if you raise your mental capabilities, and you'll be on the right level, you can hit the test flow. You can hit the flow. And this is kind of a very small graph of what the flow stands for. Does anybody ever reached the flow in any way? Yes? What kind of situation? In a game. Great. Great. The flow is about getting a high challenge level. You need to be really challenged. Maybe it's something about setting goals. It's all about a high skill level. You really have to be skilled to do that. And I have to be honest about it. The last time I hit the flow, I hardly don't know. Yeah. I'm a bit embarrassed about it. But I was a referee. Even as a referee, you can reach the flow. And you know what most example is of a flow? You only know when you were in the flow after you come out of it. When you're in the flow, you're not aware of it, that you're in the flow. Because everything just happens around you. You're taking the right decision. You don't have any feeling of time. It just happens. And after you just go out of the flow, you know, oh, damn, I've been in the flow. You're not aware. This thing just happens. You don't have any action awareness. You have the feeling that you are in full control. And what you're doing is intrinsic motivating. Mostly what you heard about sportsmen when they've been in the flow after a game, and they come out of it, they say, okay, I don't know what happened, but I just felt at ease. I was able to respond to every situation. And I never had the feeling that something went wrong. Mostly when you hear cues like that, they've been in the flow. So let's look about the abilities, the mental abilities I was talking about, how you can increase those that you can reach your state of flow, the best state of mind. But first, look at how you can prepare yourself for a test session. And it's about a charter. You need a charter before your test session. Also thinking about goals you're going to set, things like that. Also because you're going to need a charter to prepare yourself. To prepare yourself so you won't be distracted during your test session. So that also means that you must be able to, what kind of actor am I? Maybe something to do with visualization, I will come back to that one. And purpose. Purpose, intrinsic motivation, I was talking about that. Something has to do with that. You have to know the purpose. Why am I doing the test in the test session? What is the purpose of doing that? If you know that, you will perform to the utmost. A setup. Of course, you need the right version of the software. The configuration should be right. Everything should be there. If you start testing, it would be very annoying that it won't work. So take care of the setup. The priority is also about, am I dealing with high risks or low risks? Maybe when you're dealing with low risks and it should be tested anyway, that you should do something to increase your level of arousal. You should be aware of that. But you should know the priority. But also references, we're still talking about risks, that you have read something before when your brains are not really in young mode, that you have some references, that you have done some reading. What's the architecture, system requirements, all kinds of things you're going to need, kind of information, which you can use, will be in your brains during the test session. It's also about reference. And data, of course, you need to have your test data ready, if possible, of course. Although it can distract you during your testing. And then if you're ready to go, let's use your mental abilities. The mental ability is about goal setting. And everybody is talking about big goals. You should achieve something in your life. And I've read a book, can't remember it, but which book it was, going for the big goals. I want to be a big opera singer or something like that. Can be quite disappointing if you don't reach it. It's too far away from you that you can see it and you can reach it. So why not start with smaller goals? Smaller goals can help to motivate yourself, because when you're doing a successful test session and you've done it right, that can be quite rewarding. I've met the goal. The confidence will go up, motivation will go up, and you have focus. I made a small clip. You can find this on YouTube. I made a small clip of the complete thing on YouTube, and I'm going to show you right away. You want to be on top, right? You want to be successful. It's about action, doing things. You can have a lot of dreams, but when you're doing something, then really things will happen. And testing is doing something, sitting behind the computer, start testing. But that means that you have to set goals. You have to be aware for whom I'm doing it. You have to have a view on the purpose for who you are doing it. And then you can determine the goal which you want to reach during your test session. That can be quite motivating and rewarding. And there's also, in my opinion, also something has to do with risks. I think we as testers we should use risks more and more. Mostly we do it as a preparation, but why not also to get feedback? I've seen the risk, I've tried to challenge them, I haven't found anything, I couldn't break the code yet. I will keep on trying. So it gives you the right focus and concentration. But also can be goals you can set for yourself. For example, why shouldn't you set a goal during a test session? I want to know more about the system. And what you can do, if you can give feedback during the debriefing after a test session to somebody else about this goal. I've tried to explore the system more, and I've seen this and this and that, so I know the system more, even better. So you can say, okay, I've reached my goal. Also a very important thing about setting goals is that you should be in control of it. You know KPIs, things like that? I don't like it. Mostly you are not in control of the KPI. You are depending on somebody else. And I don't like that. If you want to have really good goals, you should be able to be in full control of them. Then you have good goals. KPIs mostly managers want to do something, wants to have something from other people. It's quite crazy. Why should you give a KPI to a manager when he's not in control? You should be in control. So I like risk mostly as a very good goal for a test session. The next one is self-talk. I like the picture though, and I've chosen it, otherwise I wouldn't present it to you. But I don't like, I think I can. You should say to yourself, I will. I will do it. And you can use those cues to improve your level of arousal. I will find a cat. I will find it. Where's the cat? Who's the cat? Where are you? I want to find you. Those are cues you can use as a self-talk in your head to rise your level of motivation, arousal, confidence, mental capabilities. You can use cues. Most also quite important, not be aware of that, not to use the word not. When I say don't think about a pink elephant, what happens in your mind? When I say to a player, don't aim at number 5 during a timeout, I know exactly what's going to happen. Number 5 will get the ball. So don't use the word not. Try to say it positively. Say what you want to reach. You have to serve in that angle. That's better. Okay, I know what you mean. You have to have a positive engagement. So find the black cat. Will give you more concentration. And maybe when you're having a dip during your test session, you get more aroused and you get more motivated and you're doing a good job. So what kind of cues or self-talk can you use during a test session? I gave you the example. I'm going to be the lion. I'm going to chase that cat in this session. We also can use cues from heuristics. Why not? You have kind of a list of heuristics in your head. Why can't I use those as cues? Oh, when I've done feature, I also have to do logging. Look at the logging. See what's happening there. Kind of a checklist in your head, which you also use during your test session. And when you reach the right mindset, your arousal will increase. Also, sometimes what I do also as a coach, I give cues to my players. Mostly what I do during the training, I say, you have to dance like a boxer. The only thing what you have to say during a match is, boxer. Everybody looks around, boxer, where is the boxer? No, that's a cue I'm going to use as a coach. Then the player knows that he should move on his feet. Those are cues which you can use. Let's talk about visualization. We use it a lot. Are you aware that you have a full-size cinema inside of your head? And even that is a visualization. You know those two guys? Any idea who those two guys are? You know, that's quite funny. When you do it in different countries, a lot of you recognize Nadal, but I don't hear anybody recognize those two guys. Okay, great, thanks very much. I was waiting for that. It's Hamilton and Button. And they're going to drive a circuit, I'm not sure what kind of circuit it is, inside their head. Okay, this only got the steering wheel. You see the time underneath it, that's the time they've driven it in a real car. The clip is just the start and the finish, but look at the time and what happens. And also look at how they use the wheel and why Hamilton is a better driver than Button. Look at it. Okay. Isn't it amazing? He just misses the time of 2 seconds or 6 plus 6 seconds. And there's a very good reason why you have to do it on the same speed as you do in real life. It is proven you can improve your mental capability. You can improve also the way you're driving just using visualization. But if you don't use it in the same speed, if you do it too slow, or you are doing it too fast, in real life you will do it too slow or too fast. That's why I almost hit it at the same time. That's the way you could use visualization. Visualization also can give you confidence, mental capabilities, more confidence, and you can reach the flow, who knows, the right level. But how can you use visualization during your test session? You know this soap? The Bold and the Beautiful, I don't know, you know it over here. It's a soap. You know what a soap is, isn't it? Comes back every day. And I used the soap as a kind of a visualization to test an HR system. An HR system is about people, and all kinds of things can happen to people in an HR system. And you know what? In a soap, all kinds of strange things happen to people. They marry 5 times, they die, and revive again. You recognize that? Why shouldn't you use that kind of visualization? What happens in a soap as a way of testing? Is it possible that somebody could be married 5 times in the system? Is it possible? Is it possible that somebody will leave the system as if he were dead and we could revive him again in the system? Is that possible? All kinds of ideas, all kinds of visualization. And probably you're thinking about a soap right now, thinking what happens in a soap, what you could use testing an HR system. So that's the way you can use a soap, a visualization. Another way, of course, about visualization is that you can visualize the system, like the architecture and things like that. Of a mind map, it's also a very good way of visualize the things you are testing. Mostly, when I'm giving this example, I'm really thinking about it. When I'm testing a system, I've got a system, and there's interfaces over there, and it gets data coming from there. And have I tested everything? I tested the interfaces, I've done the data. You probably have an image right now in your head, which you can use also during your test session. Let's talk about stress control. And I've used this picture because it has a lot of great things. To start with, as I talked about the proper nutrition, mostly when I'm not at my best after lunch because I've eaten just too much. I mostly fell asleep. That's also that you have to take into account when you're doing a test session. Don't eat too much, or if you are hungry, you will be distracted during your test session. So you have to have the right level of nutrition. And don't use too much sugar. Mostly I have an apple standing next to me. Because an apple can help me, doesn't give me a good feel. It's healthy. Also, it's very important. But also about time management. We've got a 90 minutes test session. It gives you focus. I've done, a few months ago, I've done a bugathon. You know a bugathon? Have you heard of it? It was at my company, and we did like a kind of a bug hunting for 1.5 hours. 1.5 hours, it's not any coincidence in that one. It's the 90 minutes of a test session, because I want to give them an example of test sessions. So I gave 9 teams of 3 people 90 minutes to test the system. And the team with the most relevant bugs should win a prize. So within that 90 minutes, they were given a system with some use cases, and within the 90 minutes, they should give back a report. And what I did on purpose, on the screen was a big clock. That can give stress. Recognize that? I'll give you quite a simple example. I have a boy, he's now 18, but he was when he was little. And I said, come on, Lawrence, get over here, you have to eat. He didn't come. I said for the second time, Lawrence, time to eat. Come over. He didn't come. Then I said, 5, 4, 3, 2, and he came. No reward, nor punishment. That's time management. But I can't still figure out what drives him in that 5 seconds. Probably something that has something to do with stress. That's how time works with us. Talking about the fruit. It's also to do some regular exercise, of course, and I will tell you more about it. It's also like you do an exercise, you have more adrenaline in your blood. keep on moving. We're sitting too much, and we'll tell you more about it. It also gives you more concentration. So you have to also have a good physical state. Shouldn't be to keep on moving. And during a test session, that's also quite important. So it's all about the right level of stress. The picture on the top right is somebody sitting on a cigarette. What we say in Holland, and I don't know if you know it here, sitting is the new smoking. It's really bad for us to sit all day. We should be moving. Have you heard of it? Yes, some people don't, but sitting is not good enough. There's a Dutch professor who says you should move at least 30 minutes every day. And that doesn't mean that you really have to do some sports, but really walking and a firm pass is already enough. And there's also a picture on my laptop, I won't show it, what it does to your mental, what it does to your brain, how much other parts are really, you're going to use other parts of your brain when you're moving. And it's even said when you're chewing gum, using these muscles, it's good for your brains. So maybe you should use some chewing gum during your test session. But also, staring too long, yeah? You're sitting for 90 minutes behind your desk, looking at the screen. Your level of arousal will go down. You can't think any clearly anymore. And mostly when I have a problem during a session, I just stand up and move around. You need to have a solution for the problem. Mostly I go to the bathroom. I have to be honest, something, but I release something, I will have a good idea. You recognize it? You have some point where you don't think about something and really get a good idea. Mostly I have it in my shower. I definitely want to have a whiteboard in my shower. Because then I have brilliant ideas and I can never put them somewhere. But mostly when you don't think about it, you have the best ideas. Sometimes you have to release something, let it go. That's also start moving. When my wife wants to have a good conversation with me, she says, come on, let's go for a walk. And it's proven that men think better when they walk. Women probably think better all the time, so, but it's proven. And it's not, I can prove it with a very simple image. Proven by a duck. It is this duck which already proved that walking is a great thing to do. He is in a worry room. He has problems. And by walking around, he finds a solution. And also in Holland, we have still some new innovations. We are a country of cycling, so what we can do, we also can cycle behind our desks. Let's keep on moving. Keep on moving. Using your brains will improve. Wouldn't it be great if you connect the bike, using the electricity of the bike on your computer, and when you stop cycling, you got a recovery test, and see what happens when you start it over again? That would be great, isn't it? I've been talking to you about the flow, using those mental abilities during a test session, during an exploratory test. And you see, it's about goal setting, visualization, self-talk, and stress control. You know, it's nearly the end, but probably arousal probably went down a bit, isn't it? Let's get something more arousal. What we're going to do, we're going to stand up and sit down for 3 times. Are you ready for it? Stand up for the first time. Thank you. Sit down. Stand up. Sit down. Third time. Stand up. Sit down. Thank you very much. But this is a way to create arousal, of course. And that's also what I did during my talk. I did use all the capabilities. I set my goals. We come back to that one. I used visualization. I used clips. I used self-talk, cues. The cat, you never will forget the cat. And I used arousal. To create arousal, you were sitting up, standing up, and sitting down. So let's do some wrap up. I talked about the 4 mental capabilities. Are you still able to reproduce those mental capabilities? The one on the left. Focus. The anchor. Confidence, thank you. Your heart. Motivation. And yeah, that's sneezing. Arousal. Then we go to the mental abilities. The one was? Goals. The I was? The radio is self-talk. And if you are able to use those mental abilities and you can improve your capabilities, maybe you become a star. Who knows? It is not about more testing, it's about better testing. And if you are able to use your brain, your mental capabilities to the utmost, you can do a really good job as a tester. You can improve yourself the way you like. Oh, and by the way, the cat, it was sitting at the staircase for us. Thank you very much.
Maybe some questions.
If just a small addition, if we don't have any questions. Test sessions are very usable during Scrum. You can use a test session as a task on your Scrum board. Then they can leave you alone for that task. You can have focus, you can have concentration during your Scrum activities. Use test session as a task during Scrum. A small addition for those who want to know.
Does somebody have questions? No? Then thank you, Kramer, for your beautiful presentation.